Greetings, friends, and welcome to Rants. Today's topic is going to be about accents. So, accents are kind of an interesting thing. Pretty much, they're really fun to do, not really making fun of anyone, but it's kind of interesting how really small things can really change how you speak. I guess I should get into how accents come to be. In terms of psychology, there are things called critical periods in which you need to develop certain things in that critical period. Uh, that's why kids can learn and talk really quickly and pretty much learn multiple languages within just a few years, whereas a full adult, despite being smarter than a child, will have great troubles learning a new language. So with this critical period, for language, it's going to be pretty much before age 9. After age 9, you're pretty much set in your ways. The way your mouth moves, the way you hear things, the way you understand how words are pronounced. I mean, I can say the sentence in a really odd manner, and you should still be able to understand. Yeah, despite not really enunciating my words, you should be able to understand that, and that's kind of attributed to the fact that our brain is pretty flexible in understanding how we hear things, and that kind of makes up for how accents work. If you learn a language after you're 9 years old, I'm not saying you won't be able to speak it fluently, but you'll most likely have an accent. Now, when you miss these critical periods, something that happens is the language that you speak, there are certain sounds within each language. Not all languages use these sounds. For example, a lot of people may be familiar with the Japanese, how the stereotype is that they can't pronounce the L noise. Like instead of saying hello, they'll say haro. Um, and that's mainly because they don't have the L noise in Japanese, so they're kind of replacing it with the next closest thing. English actually has a couple of these, which you might not be aware of. I've heard that in Korean, because I have a couple Korean friends, and they actually have a noise that I can't really understand. It kind of sounds like a mix between a D and a T, and this sound is used quite often because it's just in their regular vocabulary. But every time I say it just I kind of just rotate between a D or a T noise, and sometimes they say I made the noise right or I didn't. Um, I don't know. Even among English-speaking countries, you can already kind of nitpick and kind of see what the differences between the languages are. The differences would be something simple like uh, the A's in Canadian American, you'd say ant or pants, or it's like a hard A. Whereas for British, you'd say like an accentuated A, like ah, like aunt or ponce or anything like that. So if you were to say like my aunt's pants were in the basement, or my aunt's pants were in the basement, and just a simple thing like that can kind of show that even though that it's the same words and I guess it's a different tonation, but it can really change how you can see things because I mean, someone that isn't using a English accent, perhaps it's a Indian accent, they don't seem as quote unquote educated um, when you hear them talk because you think, oh, they're just like coming to this country. They could have been there for longer than you have. It's just they came after their critical period for learning that language.